Hey guys, welcome to today's car chats. We are just running a couple of errands and I figured I would bring you along. I need to take care of a couple things today. You guys probably already know this if you've seen other videos, but I bought my dog Axel I bought him an UGG blanket from Bed Bath & Beyond. I had my eye on it for a pretty long time and ended up pulling the trigger right before, I think it was like in between Thanksgiving and Christmas I bought it for him. I actually liked the blanket so much I ended up buying the same one for our bed. And I also bought a body pillow cover that's the same. It's just like faux fur. It's really nice. You know, I didn't think that it was too expensive for the quality that it is. I really like it. I don't really want to say that it was his Christmas present because I'll buy Axel something on a Friday in July. Don't get me wrong, like he gets something extra for like his birthday and stuff, but if y'all have seen any of my videos, you'll know that my dog is spoiled and that's just the life that he lives. So he has an UGG blanket. I need to take it to the dry cleaner though because we cannot machine wash it, which is somewhat obnoxious, I will admit, because I usually like to just wash his stuff in fragrance-free detergent and call it a day, do it all at home. But it's fine if I have to take the blanket, once a month or every 6 weeks or so to the dry cleaner. It's really not that big of a deal. And I'm also I want to go to Madewell. Do y'all know what Madewell is? I'm sure you do. Madewell is a clothing store. They have locations everywhere to my knowledge. And I really like Madewell. I'm not in love with a lot of their stuff, but sometimes they have gems. And the one that was by my office closed. Not a clue why, but they closed. And so I figured that today I could drive a little out of my way and stop over by Madewell as well before I go and drop Axel's blanket off. So that's what we're doing today. Nothing too exciting. Do you guys completely hate driving on the highway? I hate driving on highways. I really, really do. I feel like people have no fucking clue what they're doing. And you either get the people that are overly aggressive or the people that are just completely freaked out and go 30 miles an hour. So I posted my video this morning on Mia Ponsetto, and that video was a lot to edit. Anytime I do those reaction videos, they are, a lot more time consuming to edit and make sure that, especially in something like that, I needed to make sure that the R word was, blanked out, because YouTube, the YouTube stuff, that video was really good. I'm glad that it's getting, a conversation going. I really want to continue covering stories like that because I think that, at least according to the feedback that I'm getting, a lot of times when I talk about stories like Mia or like Katie Sorensen, what I will hear from a lot of you guys is, wow, I had no idea that this happened. Thank you for shedding light on it and talking about it. And it not only keeps, it not only definitely opens up a conversation and, shows things to you guys that you might not have known about, but it also adds a good amount of variety to my channel because I don't only want to talk about YouTubers. I don't only want to talk about family channels. I don't only want to talk about beauty influencers. I like the commentary world, and I love giving my opinion on stuff. But I like giving my opinion on different topics of current events or, you know, things that are happening that I can provide my opinion on. And I think when things like that happen, not only does it warrant attention, but it also provides variety of the people that I am discussing, which I really like. It is actually quite mild today in the DC area. I think today said that the high was going to be like 55 degrees, which is very mild for, you know, the second week of January, call it. So that is very surprising, but I'm also not going to get used to it because we are due for a really big snowstorm this year. And I could totally see it being 55 degrees one day and then turning around in a couple days and dumping a foot of snow. That's just how DC weather is. It's very unpredictable and strange, but it is what it is. I am counting down the months till spring. I am here for it, and I am super excited for the mild weather to work its way back to us. And I definitely missed my exit. Great. And now there's traffic, so I have to go up here and turn around. So one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, I am not going to make a dedicated video about this, but I know that kind of like my core audience watches my car chats. So anyone that happens to watch this video in its entirety will, you know, catch this little section of the video. But are you guys familiar with this whole Truthy Magoo situation? Now, I will say I am not well versed in this. I didn't know who he was. I had never heard of the name until lately, very recent, when he faked his own S word. I don't understand. Now, granted, I don't know the history. I don't know who he is or what's going on. But obviously that idea in general is not okay. You don't do that ever. A part of me is curious because I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what could have possibly been going on to make him feel like he had to do that? I have a lot of questions. And like I said, I'm not going to speculate because I'm not educated as far as who he is or what his channel is about or was about. I don't even know if it's still around. It seems like it's really crazy. I am super ready to get my hair cut. I am excited to have a little chop. It's funny because when you have short hair, you can cut an inch off and it really feels like a night and day difference. So I know what's going to end up happening is I'm going to cut, you know, maybe an inch, maybe not even an inch, and it's just going to feel so short until I get accustomed to it. But I know a couple of you guys, more than a couple, I would say several of you guys over the last couple of months especially have left comments saying that my short hair has inspired you to cut your hair short, and I think that's amazing. I think that's super awesome, and I fully support anyone cutting their hair short. Now, one thing that I will say is I don't think that all hairdressers know how to cut short hair properly. But the best way that I can describe my haircut is, so let's talk about my hair texture for a second. My hair texture is fine, but I have a lot of hair. So even though the actual diameter of, if you were to pull out one of the strands of my hair, the actual diameter of the hair is not big, but I have a lot of hair. So the way that I have, learned over the years that I'm most happy with my hair is that it needs to be undercut. So essentially what it does is, you take the top part of your hair and they pin that up, and the majority of the cutting and the texturizing and taking all the weight out is done underneath. So then when you drop the top of the hair down, it covers all of that, and there's not all of that bulky weight underneath of the hair, or underneath, where all that texturizing was. All of that is gone. All of that weight. All right, you guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get turned around, and then once I go, and assuming I pick up anything from Madewell, I will, I'm going to check in with you guys in a little bit. So I will see you in 2 seconds. Hello guys, I'm back. So my little rendezvous got cut short because I have to drive all the way to my office and take care of something that has to be done today. So I am making my way over there now. I did go to Madewell. I didn't buy anything because they had one thing. They had this, it was like this chunky, like black sweater that I liked, but it was far too expensive to justify when I already have black sweaters at home. Let's be real, I don't need another black sweater. So I decided not to buy it. Madewell is so expensive. That's the other thing I will say is typically when I buy stuff from there, I buy it when it's out of season. So I might go back in like around March and see if they have any winter stuff that I want to buy then, because it is really expensive. But I will say there's been a handful of times that I have found stuff there, Madewell brand at Nordstrom Rack, which has been really awesome. When you find Madewell at Nordstrom Rack, you can also find a lot of Free People at Nordstrom Rack. I've bought a few things Free People at Nordstrom Rack because that's another store. I like Free People sometimes, but their stuff is just so expensive. And a lot of times you guys will ask me, where do you usually shop for clothes? Not an exciting answer, but I shop a lot at Old Navy and Gap. Target has hidden gems sometimes. And, Nordstrom Rack is good. If I'm going to treat myself, I will go somewhere like Nordstrom or Revolve. I really like Revolve clothing a lot, but again, that's another site where I will look for sales. I'm also on their email list, so if they send me a coupon, I will, if there's something I've had my eye on and they still have it, then I'll wait until I get a coupon or notification that they're having some sort of sale, because a lot of their stuff is just astronomically overpriced. But I am pretty good with my clothes as far as taking care of them, and I don't buy clothing is not something that I spend a lot of money on. My money goes towards Axel, first of all. Second of all, it goes towards, buying my Orbe hair stuff when I need that, or, beauty purchases like makeup. It's not very often that I'll just go and drop like $200 on new clothes. I piece it together. So over the course of a couple of months, I might come out with a few new articles clothing. But I really do. I hold on to my stuff for a long time, and I've also, if you guys are like me and you wear a lot of black clothing, look for, I'll throw up a screen grab just as reference, look for the Woolite Darks. I use that a lot, or you can look at the OxyClean Dark and Protect. I've also used that. I've kind of flipped between the both of them, and I had really good experiences with both. Just having a detergent specific for dark items of clothing and making sure that everything black that I own, even like my under tank tops, like I have a lot of just plain black tanks that I use for layering. I wash everything dark together, and I mean not like socks and stuff, but because yes, my socks are black too, but I wash everything that's dark together, and I feel like that has helped keep things looking good too. I'm so thirsty and I forgot my water, and I didn't buy anything to drink. You guys, I can't with the Teslas. Why are people so pressed on Tesla? I see a lot of them when I'm out and about. I feel like it's becoming more and more common. On top of it, it's so funny when I see YouTubers or anyone that has a Tesla with that white interior, it just gives me the worst anxiety, because all of my cars, well, except one of them, I always make it a point to get dark interior because it hides scratches and dirt a lot better than light color interior does. But light color interior is bad enough, but when you have something that is that stark white, it's just anxiety inducing, because I think of every little piece of dirt that would show up on that. You guys know that I'm in the market for a new car. Not a new car, but a new used car. And I've been kind of keeping my eye out. I really don't want this process to feel rushed, because I've had car purchases be rushed before, and I've just regretted the whole experience. And so this time I'm, slowly keeping my eye out, just being apprised of the situation and what's available and all that. And I saw a car that it would have been perfect. It had low miles, it was a good price, all that good stuff, clean, accident history, had never been in an accident according to Carfax. And I go to look at the interior photos on the car dealer's website, and it has light beige interior. And I'm like, oh, way to completely just burst my bubble. I'm going to take some back roads into my office because of where I was coming from and where I'm going. So hopefully the sun will not be as annoying here in a few minutes. That's the one thing about driving around and doing these car chats, is that sometimes I feel like the lighting can just be kind of obnoxious from the viewer's standpoint. But I think a lot of you guys, tell me this in the comments. I'm always curious about this. When I post the car chats, do you guys just like leave it on in the background, kind of like it's background noise? Or do you actually watch the entire video from your phone or from your computer? Because for me, if I was on the viewer's side of one of these videos, I would just leave my phone and let it play. I don't feel like I would, want to look at the screen, because it's kind of boring, just me driving around. But I am curious about that. The biggest complaint that I have about my nose piercing, I love my nose piercing. I'm super happy that I got it done. The one thing that's super annoying is during the winter months when I want to blow my nose. You have to be very careful when you have a nose piercing. That's probably my biggest complaint. I'm also really glad that I did not take out my nose piercing, because I got a it wasn't a keloid. My piercer actually corrected me. It was just an irritation bump, but you guys, this bump came back like 4 different times. I kept thinking that my nose was all healed and it was all good, and then this bump would come back, and it literally just looks like a whitehead. And I remember it was probably like the 3rd time that it came back. I was like, I'm just gonna take this fucking thing out. Like, I'm so done with trying to nurture this stupid piercing and feeling like nothing I'm doing is right. Like, what the hell is going on with this thing? And I'm so glad that I waited it out. And I was telling my boyfriend that too, because I mentioned a few videos ago, he ended up getting his nose pierced in December. It was like right before Christmas. And I told him, I was like, if you get that irritation bump, do not give up and take it out, because I could see him being really annoyed by that too, because it's annoying, and the bump will stay there from anywhere from a few days to a week or 2, depending on how it's healing up and how you're taking care of it. But I told him, I was like, don't get discouraged, you know, make sure that you're doing everything you can to take care of it, but do not take it out if that bump comes up. The first time mine came up was long after it was pierced. I got my nose pierced in April, and that irritation bump showed up in almost July. So I thought that I was kind of out of the woods, and I was definitely not out of the woods. The last time I had the bump was probably, there's actually a YouTube video where I was dealing with that bump, and it was really, really bad, and it looked horrible on video. I mean, to me, it looked horrible. I'm sure to people watching it, it really wasn't that big of a deal. So I'm sure to people watching the video, it really wasn't that big of a deal. But to me, it was very noticeable and red and irritated. But long story short, just to say that I'm glad I didn't get super frustrated and give up on it. Okay, so now we're going into these back roads. The sun will be like spotty, but hopefully it's not super obnoxious. So I am super grateful for the growth that this channel is experiencing. Don't get it twisted. I am losing several subscribers because of me sharing my opinions on certain topics, and that's understandable, but I also feel like I have a duty that when I have a platform and I'm bringing commentary to my channel, I have a duty to discuss things that sometimes might be a little bit uncomfortable. And, you know, I'm going to come to you guys and share my honest opinion, as I always do. And part of me sharing my honest opinion is always going to be to open up a dialogue, not to pin one person against the other, or say that my opinion is right, and if you don't like it, get away, get off my channel. That is not how I'm ever going to run my channel. I want it to be a place where we can all, you know, sit in a different seat, have a little bit of a different opinion, but realize how to share those opinions in a constructive, safe environment where nobody's going to be attacked. You're not going to be blasted in the comments or embarrassed, because that is completely irresponsible and very, very toxic in my opinion. And I realize that the way that I run my channel is not the way that the person next to me or the person next to them might run their channel, and that is a-okay. But I think that no subscriber should ever feel like their if they do share their opinion, they're going to be ousted or attacked by other subscribers or by the creator themselves. There is nothing that aggravates me more than seeing a toxic comment section on a video. It is super, super aggravating to see. So anyway, guys, I'm going to continue to make my way towards the office, and once I'm done there, I will check in with you guys. So I'll see you in 2 seconds. Alrighty, guys, I'm done at the office. I'm going to put some of this Jouer Champagne Kiss lip gloss or lip balm on. There's really no sense in spending time when it comes to my lip products because everything comes off as soon as I put my mask on. I need to stop and get some of our energy drinks. So that was a while ago that I was talking about the milk that I drink, which is Fairlife. I've tried some other brands since someone told me this, but someone told me that the Fairlife company doesn't treat their cows nicely. Do you guys know anything about that? I had never heard that until someone brought it to my attention, but I obviously don't want to support a company that mistreats animals. But I also really like the lactose-free milk because I'm able to drink it and not get acne breakouts and all the negative things that come along with drinking milk. If I drink just normal whole milk, it is almost guaranteed to make me break out, which sucks. I love a good hot chocolate. But I don't love getting acne breakouts, obviously. The other brand that I tried was A2. So A2 makes hormone or lactose-free milk. And the other, I also tried a store brand of whole milk that's lactose free, and that was pretty good. They all pretty much taste the same, if I'm being honest. But I just love whole milk so much. I can't do the 2% milk at all. I just can't do it. I meant to tell you guys that these masks, I've been wearing these black masks. They've been in a couple of my pictures on Instagram and on my community tab. I bought these at Ulta online. They're by that brand, is it Kitsch? K-I-T-C-H or S-C-H? I can't remember. I'll throw up a screen grab so you guys can see what I'm referring to. But these masks are really, really nice. I actually like them more than any other reusable cotton masks that I've found. They're really soft, they're breathable, and I've really liked using them. So I think I'm gonna end up buying another pack of them from Ulta online. The 3-pack in the all black is not available in stores. It says that it's online only. But since I already have 3, I figured that it would help me, when I'm washing my masks and stuff, it would give me another 3 to put into rotation. Some of the problem with some of the reusable masks is that if they're too thick, I feel like my skin can't breathe, and that's when I end up getting the maskne. And if you guys have had maskne, you'll know what I'm talking about. But essentially, whiteheads will form kind of on your lower half where your mask would usually sit. And that has happened with thicker masks that I've tried. It never happens with the disposable ones, but I don't like to use the disposable ones because I feel like they are, bad for the environment and just not a good thing to obviously you work in the medical field and you need to use them. But I also would hope that hospitals and doctors' offices have a disposal plan and process so that those masks don't end up on beaches or in the ocean. Oh, I'll give you guys a little informal update on, I ordered the Surat Dewdrop foundation from their website because I no longer support Beautylish. If you guys don't know why I don't support Beautylish, it's because they are still selling Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and they are one of the sites that put their foot down and said, no, we're going to keep on selling Jeffree's makeup. We don't care what the consumer says. We don't care that he's a horrible person and a shitty influence to his audience. We're going to continue selling his makeup. So I decided that I was no longer going to be a Beautylish customer. So, that being said, ended up ordering the Surat Dewdrop foundation from Surat's website. And the shades are very interesting for this foundation. It's like shade 7 is really dark, shade 10 is really light, shade 9 is lighter, but the shades are very, very interesting. So I ended up ordering shades 10 and 11, and what I've been doing is mixing shade 10 with a little bit of my MAC Face and Body in C6, because I've had a bottle of C6 for a little while that I haven't been able to use, and so I ended up mixing 10 with C6 to get a decent match, and that's been working. And as for shade 11 is much more suited for my skin tone, specifically the undertone of my skin. So it's more of a golden olive. So as far as repurchasing, I would repurchase shade 11. And so if you guys have a similar skin tone to me, that might be helpful. As far as the formula itself, really, really happy with the formula of this foundation. Now, I will say it is expensive. However, the way that I look at that is, if there is going to be a product that you spend more money on for your makeup routine, I'll apply it to myself. I am not the type of person to go and try every new foundation that comes out. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The last time I tried a new foundation, it was the EX1 Invisiwear, and that was like years ago. So aside from, it would have been the Scalisi Perfect Tinted Treatment, and that was about 2 years ago. I do not buy new complexion products. It's just not something that I want to gamble with. So for me, I look at it like, if I'm trying a new foundation every couple of years, then for me and my personal style, I can justify spending a little bit more in order to try something that I've had my eye on for a long time. I realize that not everyone shops for makeup that way. Maybe you're someone who really enjoys trying new foundations once a month or a few times a year. That's okay too, but if you guys are wondering how I kind of shop for products, that is how I would describe it, is that I'm okay with spending a little more on a complexion product as long as I'm not out here buying every new foundation that comes on to the market. All right, you guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop off Axel's blanket and then make my way home. I will talk to you guys really soon, but for now, if you like the video, please leave me a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.